The storm raged more and more fiercely as the night went on. Harry couldn't sleep. He shivered and turned over, trying to get comfortable. His stomach rumbled with hunger. Dudley's snores were drowned by low rolls of thunder that started near midnight. The light dial of Dudley's wristwatch was dangling over the edge of the sofa on his fat wrist. Told Harry that he would be 11 in 10 minutes' time. He lay and watched his birthday tick nearer, wondering if the Dursleys would remember at all, wondering where the letter writer was now. 5 minutes to go. Harry heard something creaking outside and hoped the roof wasn't going to fall in, although he might be warmer if it did. 4 minutes to go. Maybe the house and private drive would be so full of letters that he would be able to when they got back, he'd be able to steal one somehow. 3 minutes to go. Was that the sea slapping against the rock like that? And 2 minutes to go. What was that funny crunching noise? Was the rock crumbling into sea? 1 minute to go. And he'd be 11. 30 seconds, 20, 10, 9. Maybe he'd wake up Dudley just to annoy him. 3, 2, 1. Boom! The whole shack shivered as Harry sat up, bolt upright, staring at the door. Someone was outside, knocking to come in. Chapter 4, The Keeper of the Keys. Boom! They knocked again. Dudley jerked awake.
Where's the cannon?
He said stupidly. There was a crash behind them, and Uncle Vernon came sneaking into the room. He was holding a rifle in his hands. Now they knew what had been in the package he had brought with them.
Who's there?
He shouted.
I warn you, I'm armed.
There was a pause, then smash! The door was hit with such force that it came swinging off its hinges with a deafening crash. Landed on the flat floor and landed flat on the floor. A giant man was standing in the doorway. His face was almost completely hidden with a long, shaggy mane of hair and a wild, tangled beard. But you could make out his eyes, gleaming like black beetles under all that hair. The giant squeezed his way into the hut and stooped so his head brushed the ceiling. He bent down and picked up the door and fastened it easily into its frame, and noticed the off picked it and squeezed easily into its frame. The noise of the storm dropped a little. And here is the picture. We all know who this is, right?
Yeah, agreed.
He turned to look at them all.
Couldn't make us a cup couldn't make us a cup of tea, could you? It's not been an easy journey.
So funny. He stood over the sofa where Dudley sat up, frozen with fear.
Push up, you great lump,
said the stranger. Dudley squealed and hid behind his mother, who was crouching terrified behind Uncle Vernon.
Oh, there's Harry,
said the giant. Harry looked up into the fierce, wild, cloudy face and saw the beetle eyes were crinkled in a smile.
Last time I saw you, you was only a baby,
said the giant.
You look like your dad, but you got your mum's eyes.
Uncle Vernon made a funny, raspy noise.
I demand that you leave at once, sir, he said. You are breaking and entering. Ah, shut up, Dursley, you great prune,
said the giant. He reached over the back of the sofa, jerked the gun out of Uncle Vernon's hands, bent it into a knot as easily as if it had been made of rubber, and threw it into a corner of the room. Uncle Vernon made another funny noise, like a mouse being trodden on.
Anyway, Harry,
said the giant, turning his back on the Dursleys.
A very happy birthday to you. Got something for you here. I might have said it at one point, but it'll taste all right.
From the inside of his pocket of his black overcoat, he pulled a slightly squashed box. Harry opened it with trembling fingers. Inside was a large, sticky chocolate cake with the words "Happy Birthday, Harry" written on it in green icing. Harry looked up at the giant's face. He meant to say thank you, but the words got lost on the way to his mouth. But what he said instead was,
Who are you?
The giant chuckled.
True, I haven't introduced myself. Rubius Hagrid, keeper of keys and grounds at Hogwarts.
He held out an enormous hand and shook Harry's whole arm.
What about that tea, eh?
He said, rubbing his hands together.
I'd not say no to so much stronger if you got it. Mind?
Okay, Emma, I'm gonna go do something. Can you read for a little bit?
Okay. His eyes fell on the empty grate with the shriveled crisp bags in it, and he snorted. He bent over the fireplace. They couldn't see what he was doing, but when he drew back a second later, there was a roaring fire there. It filled the whole damp hut with flickering light, and Harry felt the warmth wash over him as though he'd sunk into a hot bath. The giant sat back down on the sofa, which sagged under his weight, and began taking all sorts of things out of his pockets of his coat.
A copper kettle, a squashy package of sausage, and a poker and a teapot, several chipped mugs, a bottle of some amber liquid, which he took a swig from before starting to make tea. Soon the hut was full of the sound of sizzling sausage. Nobody said a thing while the giant worked, but as he worked, he said the first 6 fat, juicy, slightly burnt sausages from the poker. Dudley fidgeted a little. Uncle Vernon said sharply,
Don't give anything he gives you, Dudley. Don't touch anything.
The giant chuckled darkly.
Your great point of a son don't need fattening anymore. More Dursley, don't worry.
He passed Harry a sausage. Harry, who was so hungry he never tasted anything so wonderful, but he still couldn't take his eyes off the giant. Finally, as nobody seemed to explain anything, he said,
I'm sorry, but I still don't really know who you are.
The giant looked up glumly at the tea.
No.
The giant took a gulp of tea and wiped his mouth with the back of his hand.
Call me Hagrid,
he said.
Everyone does. And like I told you, I'm keeper of keys at Hogwarts. You'll know all about Hogwarts, of course? No,
said Harry. Hagrid looked shocked.
Sorry,
said Harry quickly.
Sorry?
Barked Hagrid, turning to stare at the Dursleys, who shrunk back into the shadows.
It's them that should be sorry. I knew you weren't getting your letters, but... Oh, picture. Harry and Hagrid sitting at the fire. I never thought you wouldn't know about Hogwarts. For crying out loud. Did you never wonder where your parents learned it all? All what?
asked Harry.
All what?
Thundered Hagrid.
Now, wait just 1 second.
He leapt to his feet. His anger seemed to fill the whole hut. The Dursleys crowded against the wall.
Do you mean to tell me?
He grumbled at the Dursleys.
That this boy knows nothing about anything?
Harry thought this was going a bit far. He had been to school after all, and his marks weren't bad.
I know some things,
he said.
I can, do math and stuff.
Hagrid simply waved his hand and said,
About our world, I mean. Your world, my world, your parents' world. What world?
Hagrid looked as if he were about to explode.
Dursley!
He boomed. Uncle Vernon, who had been going pale, whispered something that sounded like mimble wobble.
Wimble wimble.
Hagrid stared wistfully at Harry.
I was going to send Len an email saying,
But you don't know about your mum and dad, he
said.
I mean, they're famous. You're famous. What? My mom and dad weren't famous, were they? You don't know! You don't know!
Hagrid ran his fingers through his hair.
You don't know!
Harry with a bewildered stare.
You don't know what you are,
said Hagrid. He said, finally. Uncle Vernon suddenly found his voice.
Stop!
He commanded.
Stop right there, sir. I forbid you to tell the boy anything.
A braver man than Uncle Vernon would have quailed under the fierce look Hagrid gave them now. He trembled with rage. Okay.
You never told him. Never told him what was in the letter Dumbledore left for him? I was there. I saw Dumbledore leave it, Dursley. And you've kept it from him all these years. Kept what from me?
Said Harry angrily.
Stop! I forbid you!
Yelled Uncle Vernon in panic. And put you no grass in horror. Harry Potter theme song.
Good, go boil your heads, both of you, said Hagrid. Harry, you're a wizard. There was silence inside the hut. Only the sea and the whistling wind
could be heard.
we're gonna stop there. Bye. See you tomorrow.